Yo, Crypto Nation and mining family, what is going on out there? Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up? Thank you everybody for being understanding of me having some stuff to do with the siding guy. I was hoping that he would be like almost, he was already buttoned up already. And then he was just doing some of the little stuff, and I was helping him, all that good stuff. We just got the one of my light fixtures a little better fixed, secured onto the house. The weight of it was just kind of pulling away, being it's all plastic. This one did not have as tight of a friction fit as the other light kit did. So it is what it is. But thank you guys for understanding and all that good stuff. And Life of Rian, if you're still listening, yes, the siding is finally done. Yo! We have a newish looking home now. It looks really nice. Front, back, all four sides are done. We needed to finish up the back side of the house and then just kind of tidy up little things going back at the very end. Made a few adjustments in some places, and it's sensual. It's super sensual. So what's going on, Jason the Tiger Osborne, FA Bitcoin by the Derp? 100%, man. 100%. What up, Rude? What up? What up? It's like, I smashed that like button, then you know that. Yo, love it, love it, love it. What's going on, Tech Man? Could be worse, could be with your side guy. Instead of the siding guy, the side guy. No side guys. I'm just saying, no side guys. What's going on, Crypto Nico with Yo the FO? And we got the Cisco with the Yo. What's going on, everybody? I hope you've had a pleasant hump day. Yeah. It's like, Harold, what day is it? Come on. Wednesday. It's hump day. Yeah. Yep, it's been a fun day, that is for sure. For anybody who hasn't been paying attention, I said I would be giving everybody that lovely countdown. We have 13 days and 12 hours and 41, almost 40 minutes until Ethereum mining is dead. Maybe. I've been hearing rumors of small little issues that may or may not push back the merge date. Probably not. They'll probably be like, "Oh no, we'll just fix it as we go, guys. We're good to go." There are already issues with certain protocols switching over, so contracts changed a little bit, not much, but just a little bit. So you'll find that maybe some other poorly written blockchain code might have a temporary hiccup until they pull their act together and figure out what they needed to add in or take out of the contract for the consensus aspect of it as they rewrite the contract. Yeah, definitely, guys. Keep an eye on that. Make sure that if it takes you more than 13 days to get a payout and you just got a payout, stop mining Ethereum. You will never mine enough to get a payout, so it's best to start switching over early. There will be a 0.002 minimum to be able to push it through the network that you will have to more than likely manually ask for. Not all mining pools are going to allow that. So depending on the mining pool you are mining to, make sure to see how they are dealing with the merge moving forward. So if it takes you more than 13 days to get a payout, this is the time that you stop mining Ethereum and you go to something else. Otherwise, you're going to be turning your rigs off. It's like if you can't get the payout, there's no point on wasting the capital of your electricity into mining onto that, because the pool is going to keep the anything that's left over. It will be converted into the pool's wallet, and the pool will take it. This is just how it works. If it's not enough to send through the network because it's a dust, you're never going to get paid out on dust. So just kind of keep that in mind, guys. Keep that in mind. Yay, baby. Glad that you're there. Yo. So definitely, I just want to make sure that everybody, pays attention to this merge date. It looks like it's written in stone, but we'll see. Hopefully they don't, like I said, I don't wish anything bad upon them, and I hope everything goes smoothly. But we all, as miners, we need to start sitting there and figuring out our contingency plan. As we get closer to the merge date, we are going to also watch hash rate drop off and hash rate in other areas start increasing. So be very aware of that, that your payouts are going to fluctuate here quite a bit. And like I've been saying, it doesn't look like there is any real exit for Ethereum. So it looks like maybe there's a whale watching my YouTube channel, and they just, whenever they heard me verbalize that there might not be any way to get out of Ethereum post merge. Your coin might be locked up in the ecosystem until exchanges try to add in liquidity to be able to purchase and sell the token. There might not be any real way to purchase or sell token for a little bit. It doesn't look like there was any on and off ramps. I would hope that the exchanges are ready for this and it'll be nice and fluid. But I haven't seen any confirmation myself to see that there's on and off ramps for the Ethereum 2.0. So take that for what you will. I'm not sitting there trying to tell you, hey, you got to sell your coin before you get it. I have no idea how this is going to work out. I haven't seen anybody saying we will have on and off ramps for ETH 2.0. So if anybody knows anything for ETH 2.0 on and off ramps post merge, definitely at some point in time drop it in the comments down below. If it's after the video's done here, or if you guys happen to know, drop it in the comments, guys. Because I don't know any on and off ramps post merge. So me being playing a safer move, I will liquidate out of any kind of holdings at all of Ethereum out of it before the merge. I don't even want to fuck around with it. I'd just rather have Bitcoin. I mean, just to be honest, it's like I really don't have much Ethereum to begin with. It's like very small amount. But I will definitely liquidate what little I have before the merge dates. Oh yeah. So, it's like I do get into a lot of finances and stuff like that, because not so much I need to know what's gonna where to put, what's the hot stock of the week, what's going to be a safe haven asset. We already know it. It's gold, silver, and Bitcoin. There is no other safe haven assets. Let's just be honest about that. But we have, like, a lot of people don't understand how gold really operates, or really how Bitcoin operates. If the price of everything around you is on a 7% rise, right? Or you've got high inflation environment, and the price of that asset remains the same, that means you're locking in the similar amount of value through all different points. It means it's acting more of a safe haven. Historically, that's been gold and silver. As the dollar weakens, we see the price of gold and silver rise. So if every time you see Bitcoin rise in price, it's not always 100% that there's a whale that just bought a lot of Bitcoin and the price was naturally going to rise. Some of that's going to be starting to price in the safe haven asset that as the dollar strengthens, Bitcoin should either drop in price or remain the same. As the dollar weakens, Bitcoin should go up. And historically, gold, silver, and Bitcoin have been going up. So how is this student loan forgiveness going to affect Bitcoin? Well, it depends on how the U.S. government decides that they're going to be coming up with this money. Which, again, nobody's sitting here and answering that. No one. So either they have to raise everybody's taxes, and that would be a good reason why they're trying to hire in 87,000 new IRS agents that they're going to be arming with guns and training them how to shoot people for whatever reason, because it's taxation, which, I mean, granted, taxation's theft in any format. Yeah, this fucking bailout is absolutely insane, Cisco. 100% insane. There is no reason that we are sitting here and bailing out people who are, it's like, first off, you don't need to fucking go to college. It is a privilege, not a fucking right. Because you can sit there and get a 9-to-5 job doing some basic manual labor. And me and my wife, she helped me go through college. I paid off my student loans. Nobody fucking helped me pay off my student loans. And you want to know why I was able to pay off my student fucking loans? Because I got a job. What I went to college for taught me more about the field that I was already going to go into. I'm an automotive technician. I've been building hot rods since I was a fucking wee little kid. I decided that, hey, if I get a college degree behind me, plus the knowledge that I have already working on cars, I can get a job anywhere I want. That was my thought. And it took me like 9 years. I paid off my student loans, all of it. Not one person helped me. I never deferred my loans at any point in time. I paid it off. It is simple. If you get a job, if you get a degree for a fucking industry that is bullshit, then you will never pay off your student loans. And getting a art degree, a fine arts degree, is not going to get you your loans paid off. When did people stop teaching you that about the starving artist? It doesn't matter how much schooling you get. The starving artist is still the starving artist. Why are we bailing them out? Tell these people to stop getting degrees in useless things that will not generate any money. I don't care if you have a art degree, masters in fucking The Simpsons. Fucking don't care. Watching The Simpsons in college should not be a degree course. Yeah, liberal arts for the win. Oh my god, it's like I love my mom, okay? My mom got a art degree. So she can do stuff like Pixar stuff, right? She doesn't make good money with it. She never will. She went to college late in life, and she went to Columbia University. She's now in debt up to her eyeballs, and she's not going to make enough money here. Here it is, my mother, who vote blue or nothing else, it doesn't matter, vote blue. She is looking at this going, oh boy, look at this. They're going to pay off $10,000 or more of my student loans that I took out. So now everybody's incentivized to go fucking take out student loans because you're going to get fucking free money now. Look at this. And if it happens once, why not happen again? And people don't realize it's going to have a secondary effect on here. Well, if the government's going to give everybody a $10,000 loan forgiveness every year, or every few years, What stops the colleges from raising the tuition fee by $10,000? It's simple economics. Anytime that anything has ever been subsidized, for the exact amount that something was subsidized, the price of what was subsidized goes up that exact dollar amount. Amazing, right? Fucking amazing. So now we are basically incentivizing people to take on exorbitant amounts of debt. And then people who have never, people who have gone, you know what, I'm not going to go to college. Fuck that college. I'm just going to go get a degree. I'm just going to go work. And what am I going to do for a living? I'm going to do highway construction. I'm going to work for, the highway department. You know what? Those guys can start off making somewhere around $65,000 to $75,000 right out of high school. Let that thing sink in. So by the time somebody gets a 4 to an 8-year degree, that same person who's been working as construction is now probably making upwards of about $100,000 a year. 0 college degree. And he's providing value. And because he's providing value, he's now being punished for this extreme value that he's been, because value is so wrong in America these days that we need to steal from them to give it to people who are producing no value with their liberal arts degrees. This is the state of our government. And you might be in another country. This is going to affect you too. You might not think about it. But if you're in another country, guess what? Your currency is pegged to the dollar. Whatever happens to the US dollar, the rest of the world feels it. The rest of the world doesn't realize it, that the United States makes cheap money, sends that out, and receives goods and services back. That's what gives the dollar value. Is the idea that they ship the dollars out to get goods and services back. And the world has pegged their currency to us. El Salvador was the smartest country out there. They pegged their shit to Bitcoin. My cousin's going for a PhD, almost 40 years old, and is a teacher. You paid all that money to babysit kids. She's still renting and dead broke, acting like she's better. Exactly. It's like, I don't mind if you're highly educated. We need educated people. I'm not going to discourage that. But the amount of useless education that's being tossed out there for areas that have very little value. And instead of people trying to steer these kids into going, you know what? That field is really saturated. You're only going to make $20,000 at most a year. You're going to be loaded up with $750,000 worth of debt to get this degree, your master's degree. Because let's be straight. It used to be a 2 to 3 years. 2 to 3 year degree like I got. I've got associate's degrees. I don't even have a bachelor's. I'm halfway to my bachelor's, but there's no point in me going and grabbing my bachelor's. Well, there is now that I'm going to get free $10,000, but it's not really fucking free. It's going to be about a $1 trillion tax on every single human being that fucking uses the dollar. So anybody who receives this $10,000 tuition payout is not only going to be helping to raise the prices of tuition by receiving this, but they're also going to be helping adding more debt to the United States, which brings more inflation. It's like we now have an out of control spending policy. The Federal Reserve is going to be sitting there and raising interest rates on loans because why? They say that we have a strong economy because there's not a lot of unemployment. So they want to raise. Now this is a fun one. I thought this was absolute flipping madness, right? So they're going to be sitting there and raising interest rates incrementally until people start getting laid off. I'll repeat that again. They are going to raise interest rates until Americans start losing jobs. That doesn't sound like a healthy economy to me. If you were trying to get inflation under control, knowing that the necessary evil in order to get there is to cause people to lose their jobs, cause people to be on welfare. Get this. It's like the bigger picture on this is like they're trying to push for the welfare state, where everybody's indentured servants to the U.S. government. It's basically legalized slavery. If the government's paying all your bills, you really can't tell them no, can you? I mean, think about it. Like, also think a large group of the 10K are those in grad school who will be making more money than most instantly. Oh, yeah, for sure. Gallo, true. I'm in Bolivia. If you buy a car or a house or anything over a certain threshold, prices are in USD. Exactly. Wow, I didn't know that about being out in Bolivia, my man. That you guys are... Wow. I learned something new, Gallo. Amazing. I did not know that if things get priced up too high in your country, that in Bolivia, that it's priced in USD too. Wow, that's wild. Wow, that's amazing. It's like Flying Brian, bring on the pain. Gallo, you will own nothing and you will love it. Tizen, I'd rather they give a handout to struggling grads than bail out banks at the... Okay, Tizen, here's the kicker. That 10 grand, who do you think it's paying back? It's money getting paid to the banks. They're basically guaranteeing payment of the loan. They're not giving it to the student. They're giving it to the bank. It's a fucking Ponzi scheme. They're doing it right out in the open to you guys. Who writes these loans? You got Sally Mae and Fannie and Freddie Mac, right? So those are your predatory loan companies. Instead of just going, you know what? We want you to go to college. We know you need a loan for this. No more interest on that loan. That I can get behind. Stop making it to where you're fucking making money off of these loans. You're talking about struggling students sometimes using this shit. I was a struggling student. I got the interest rate that they do, compounding interest rate. Get rid of the interest rate on this. Make it to where it's just a not-for-profit loan for student aid. I get behind that. But this $1 trillion that's going to be going out for student loans is going directly to the bank. Not one student is going to... And next year, tuition's going up $10,000 more. Watch. Exactly, Tizen. Exactly. You get it. That's what I'm bitching about. This is bad news. This is how they are basically trying to buy votes. The Democrats are in such dire straits right now that they are now resorting to just going, we need to excite the younger population. And we want to excite them at the schools where the indoctrination camps are teaching them communism. They are teaching them Marxism. So why not tell these Marxists, hey, we'll give you free stuff. And now anybody that doesn't think like they're the Marxists at these colleges get shamed out of the colleges. I see a rocky road with this, guys. And I'm not even looking at it from like the truly political. I'm trying to stay away from the political side. I'm trying to stick with the economical side. But it's like it's wrapped in a little bit of political that it looks like they're trying to pay, like the Democrats are paying for votes is with this 10 grand that they are giving back to themselves. This is how you launder money, and this is how you launder money legally. It's the same thing with like the fucking Iraq war. They had the Iraq war. oh yeah, we're going after terrorists. Terrorists are bad. Everybody's like, yes, you're right. Terrorists are bad. So what were we doing? We were spending U.S. taxpayer money going to the military industrial complex who was privately funding the lawmakers. So we have a nice little circular, everybody gets money. Come on, guys, onto the train, all aboard. This time the money's ran out and they're just now resorting to printing it. Yeah, the U.S. debt will never be paid, Jason. They have monetized it. They're taking loans out against them taking more loans out. It's wild. I'd be more for regulating the limits on the loans than give out the handouts. I would say if it costs a person who doesn't have a lot of money, they want to be a doctor, it's going to cost them. I'm spitballing. It could be, I don't know how, if I'm right or wrong. I'm going to say $500,000 for 9 years worth of schooling, right? I'm just throwing a number out there. Let's say it's $500,000. He's going to, and let's say he's, he grew up on the south side of Chicago where if you had $100 to your name, you were probably the richest kid on the block. The south side of Chicago is not the nicest neighborhoods. It's a lot of poorer people in there, good, hardworking people. A lot of them are. But it's just not a lot of money rolling through there. So if somebody from the ghetto wanted to go become a doctor, I believe they should. But I don't believe that they should be getting 10% interest. Let's say $100,000, 10% interest, compounding over 10 years. Good fucking God, that is a lot of money. So take out the predatory loan aspect out of it. Give these student loans. They need them, but nobody should be making money off the students like that. If the colleges are not for profit, the loans should be not for profit also, and somebody's making money. That's just my viewpoint on it. So with this, so they're just basically they're stuffing the taxpayer with paying for these loans. It's coming directly out of all of our pockets with this going through. $1 trillion just got added onto every one of our shoulders. With that, we got the BS inflation bill that they passed, so that they spend more money with the inflation bill. Because I'm not going to call it for what they called it. It's not. They don't reduce shit in that bill. They got an out of control spending. They have They cannot detail how they're going to be getting the money back to be able to pay for everything that they just started doing. And we got 86,000 fucking new IRS agents coming for you. They're not going for the big guys. Big guys are stuck behind lawyers on top of lawyers. This makes no difference to them. They haven't changed the tax laws on the ultra wealthy. You're not going to see anybody in Congress raising their hands to increase their taxes. No, it's status quo. Who are they going to squeeze? The hardworking people who make America great. And who are they also trying to demonize? All the hardworking people who are making America great. I'm just saying. Just saying. It's like and they do have help for people who need it versus people who don't. And that comes in forms of grants and stuff. I went to school on grants. I'll put it this way. For me to go through automotive school, it was 3.5 years worth of schooling. Okay? 3.5 years. I pulled out student loans because I wasn't working. I was a full-time student. I used some of it to pay for some books and some tools. But the bulk of it was because I needed money to live. And $1,000, $1,200 here and there helped out for my semester, getting me to and from school. But I never took massive loans out. It was like $1,200. It helped me through the semester. That's how I worked it. So I racked up like 10 grand with the student loans. But because of the Pell Grant and one other, there was like 2 state grants. The Pell Grant and the MAP Grant, I forget how it was, but I remember definitely one of them was the Pell Grant. It paid for all my schooling and paid for the majority of what I needed. So I damn near went to school for free. It's better to go to school dirt poor because there's enough out there to help you go through school. If you come from a background where your parents have money, then there's a little bit less for you. That's where you're talking about you might have to write papers and stuff like that for grants, and you might be picked out from a lottery. I signed up for a few of those where I had to write like a 5-page essay for a particular grant. It was free money. All you had to do is write a 5-page essay. So there are many incentives out there. This is not for the people, because the people it's like nothing's changed in the last 50 years with student loans and jobs. What's changed is garbage degrees that create no income, and now you got these liberal arts degree people that are, I can't pay this off. No. And for that kind of a loan, Tizen, that's actually normal. I had what was it? I had $15,000. It was like $16,000 in loans that I took out while I was in college. Okay, it took me 10 years to pay off all the loans. 16 grand. So from here to 2035 on your making regular payments, as long as the income ratio for the degree that you got matches up, you'll be fine. It sucks to pay for it, but at least, it's like you're going through the same thing that everybody before you went through. It's almost like American cultural tradition at this point. Get out of high school, get told that you have to go to college to get a good job now, and you're loaded up to debt to your eyeballs, and you're not even 25. And you're up to debt up to your eyeballs. So to see 100 grand be paid off in 10 to 15 years, even 20 years, that's not bad. People get 30-year loans on $100,000 on their house. So put it in comparison like that. People get 30-year mortgages on a $100,000 home. So if you pay 100 grand with your cost of living too, in 20 years, bro, you're doing. I personally would consider that a win. Yes, having a 10 grand chop off might take off, a couple of years off of you making your payments. But at what cost in the long run? It's another bailout for the government. It's a way for them to circulate money right back into itself. It's like I see where it helps people, but it's suspicious on why they're doing it and the particular moment that they chose to start doing this. That's what really makes this unusual. But that's just my point of view on it. Everybody, it's like I would love, it's like I love to have these conversations where it's like, hey, from a user standpoint, from a college student, when I went to college, would it have been awesome to have a 10 grand bailout on my stuff? Yeah, that meant that I would have had my student loans paid off in like 2 or 3 years. Exactly, Gallo. Exactly, Gallo. Yeah, exactly, Gallo. It's like you can either learn everything online or you can learn everything in the field, like a mechanic. Even with college, I don't care how much college somebody gets to become a mechanic. You're going to graduate from college as a mechanic. You're going to get your first job. Zero experience. Your first job is going to be an oil changer. Guess what? You can become an oil changer with zero college degrees. You just need basic tools. I could sit there and I could, instead of going to college myself, I could have just got myself 10 grand worth of tools and instantaneously started making money. Not wait 3-4 years to start making money. Like Tizen's like, I don't need to bail out. That's good. It's good to see that but I see the struggle. There is no safety net for those who don't get lucky like me. They can't file for bankruptcy with student loan debt. That's the other thing that's amazing with this, how this predatory loan is. You can declare bankruptcy on anything but medical and student loans. Ain't that about a bitch, right? So you're like completely locked in on all of this. So if you don't get the connections coming out of college and you don't get a degree coming out of college that will fucking make you money, you just wasted your time and your money. And should those people get bailed out for making a bad decision long term? I would say no, they don't deserve to be bailed out. Some people need to learn the struggle is real in life. Now, like I said, for people who are poor, I mean dirt fucking poor, like me. Whenever I started college back in the early 2000s, I was lucky if I had $100 at the end of the week. I was dirt poor when I got with my wife. I was paycheck to paycheck. I was a party kid, 20 years old, and I was working at a moving company. I was making good money at a moving company, but I was bad with my money. Because again, you're not taught how to be good with your money. You're not taught how to invest. You're not taught the ins and out with money. Nothing like that coming out of the government indoctrination camps that people call schooling. So it's like if I would have been a little bit better educated with money, I could have gone a lot further. And then I took a 3-year break from working to go to college and then went into a new field. It worked out for me, but there's a small portion of people it's not. I would say probably you're looking at maybe 10 to maybe 30% of the college population gets a crap degree that makes them zero money coming out of college. You can't get a degree in hugs, dude. You can't get a degree in how to become transgender. It doesn't work like that. You need to get a degree that can get you into a field that's going to produce value. And there are a lot of fields out there that are highly saturated, and people should be told this as they go into college. Hey, you might not want to do this. This is what you like. These 8 things are kind of like what you want, but have a better earning potential and are less saturated in the workforce. That's what college is supposed to be there for guidance. And it seems like they've dropped the ball, and they're worried about how they can jack the tuition up next year. Ain't that the truth, Gallo? My family, being poor, coming up in a poor family, we knew how to rub 2 pennies together to make a buck, dude. It's like we knew about making money, we knew about saving money. That's all my family knows how to do. That's it. Nobody knows how to invest in my family. My family are old money. There is certain parts of my family to have money, but I don't know if they're investors because I don't even talk to that side of the family. I'm on the poor side of the family. Help those who need it with a 10% waste is a passing score of 90%. No. I would say that, it's like there's programs out there for the 10% that need the help. There are programs. If you're dirt poor and you want to get yourself a bullshit liberal arts degree that is in a field that makes no difference, like it's for analyzing film so that you understand. No. I mean, it's like, and I'm not trying to pick on just liberal arts. It's like liberal arts just kind of comes to mind as the quickest one to pick on. A musical degree. It's like, who the fuck cares if, it's like, how can I put it? Heard it best last night. Great way to put this. You have a restaurant, right? We're gonna play this. You have a restaurant. You are looking for a musician to play for the night, right? The first guy comes up to you going, yeah, I could do that. And they're like, and you're gonna ask him, well, what's your skills? I'm an artist. And you're like, okay, cool. Where's your experience? And he holds up a liberal arts degree. And you're like, okay. And another guy comes up to you, and he's like, I could do that. And he's like, really? You can play music? And he's already got a guitar on his back. And he whips that guitar out and plays some funky blues. And you're like, all right, who are you going to hire? The guy who came up to you with a liberal arts degree saying I can do music, or the guy who's a high school dropout, has a guitar on his back, and showed you how good of music he can play, and it's this type of music you're looking for your awesome restaurant. Who are you going to hire? It's really a no-brainer. You're not hiring the chub with a college degree. He's got no experience. You're gonna hire the guy who's been playing guitar for 10 years straight and dropped out of high school to continue to play guitar. It's the idea of, if you're gonna go to college, it should be making you better and helping you get the experience you couldn't get any other way. Like, example, being a doctor, being a lawyer. Certain things you're going to need the college degree for, but other things you can damn near just go do it. You don't need the college degree behind it. Especially with YouTube nowadays, it's a total waste. I've gotten more jobs because I showed up with tools in hand. They're like, can you do this? And I look over and I'm like, I could put that motor back together real quick for you. And they were like, okay. So what did I start doing? Engine jobs. Would they have hired somebody who was a little older than me to do it? Probably, because he would have had more experience than me, and I couldn't get mad at that. Now I'm the old guy, and it's like, if I go into a mechanic shop, I can be like, I have tools. It'll take a tow truck to get them over here, and I can put all these cars back together, even if somebody else took it apart. And they'd be like, oh, just what we're looking for. It's like I'm a master mechanic. Do I have the master mechanic degrees? Nope. Do I have all the master mechanic certifications? Nope. But I can work better than, I would say, 85% of the master mechanics that I see out there that have come out of college. So, I mean, it's like, it depends on the degree. And I believe it depends on your situation overall. That's just kind of my, it's again, these are just my viewpoints on it. Good, bad, or wrong. Right, wrong, in the middle. I believe that the poorest of the poor people, we should make sure that they've got the opportunity. But everybody else, no. Should my mom have the opportunity? No. Why should my mom not have the opportunity? She don't make no fucking money. She's got over $100,000 in debt. Why do I say that my own mother should not get this? Why? Because her husband makes over $100,000 a year with his job. They should not qualify for a $10,000 bailout. But they're going to give it to my mother anyway because she's got student loans. That's the stupid hypocrisy that I have an issue with. Help the bottom poor. If you're talking about the poorest of the poor people, you're talking a very small subsect of people. And guess what? They're going to community colleges. And those community colleges are a lot cheaper. A lot cheaper. That's where I went. I went to a community college because that was all my grants would get, my Pell Grant and everything else would get me. Like, remember, dollar cost average into anything in life. You know it. You know it, Jason. You know it, my man. 2,400 euros a month if you can do that over here. That is, wow. It's like, Gallo, same. My job interviews are, show me the last 3 videos you've made. I've never been asked to show my degree. Thank you. Thank you, my man. Thank you. Thank you, Gallo. That is the point. They don't give a fucking rat's ass about your college. They want experience. Experience is king. King. I've got one of my buddies. You want to know what ends up happening with him? Wherever he works at, he gives me a call because I get this fucked up car they're working on. And guess what? He's asking me how to diagnose it over the phone. And I'm good enough that I could walk him through it. Right? You don't get that from college. College didn't teach me how to do that. They told me to go in there and start testing stuff myself. But I'm good enough that I can walk somebody else through it. Why? Because I have the experience. Hey, go to here. Put your multimeter on here. You should have this value. What's your value? Okay, you have this value. Now, that's the wrong value. I need you to check over in this area. What's your value here? Okay, your value is good. So between point A and point B, we have an issue. What components are in between? We have A, B, and C. Okay, we need to test A, B, and C next. And I walk him through it. And then whenever he diagnoses it properly, you want to know what ends up happening? His boss asks him to ask me if I'm looking for a job. I don't even put in an application, and I've got 5 places that all I have to do is just come in with a tow truck in my toolbox, and they'll tell me where I can go put it. I don't even have to fill out an application with them because they know my reputation and how anal retentive I am with working on cars. It's a small little passion of mine. I am a messy worker, but the what I produce is gold. I take coal and produce diamonds. It's amazing. I love it. Yeah, a lot of people just need to realize, it's like if you're going to go to college, you need to sit yourself down and ask why. There are certain things that you need to have college for, other things you don't. Just go do it. It's like people don't realize it. A phone has so much earning potential, guys. You could be making big bucks on here. Like Gallo. Tell me I'm wrong. Apple iPhone or a Galaxy phone. You can do a budget film with a cell phone. Am I wrong? You got enough. You can sit there and got all your experience right from here. For very cheap, you can get... Yeah, you could shoot and edit on one. Exactly. Thank you, Gallo. That's what I'm talking about. I think that this is just going to be adding more burden on the United States and the rest of the world. We're adding on $1 trillion worth of more debt, which is going to increase the recession. The recession that they're trying to deny is here. All your economics, your world-renowned economic people in the world are all saying recession. And this is just going to add to it. It's going to start off slowly, and then it's going to be suddenly. We're not really bad into it yet. By next year, guys, I'm thinking that we are going to be in one of the worst I'm not sure if we're going to be in depression status. I'd have to figure out what they consider depression status. But we are going to be in one hell of a recession that I think is going to last quite some time. I do not think this inflation is going anywhere, guys. Anywhere. And you can see this in other countries too, as El Salvador starts taking Bitcoin. Iran passes a bill to authorize the usage of crypto for imports because the Iranian dollar is basically banned everywhere, so they can fucking transact in Bitcoin because Bitcoin is censorship resistant, and people want Bitcoin. They want gold, silver, and Bitcoin. That's all people want because they know that that's real money. Everything else is fiat. It's garbage shit coins. But yeah, it's like I thought it was interesting. Even Iran, the Iranian businesses now get the green light. So their country that's been all about tight knit control just loosened up regulations for their country to start with. This also means they have to purchase it. So they're now allowing the trade of Bitcoin in the Iranian business in their country, which means that none of the banks are going to be able to sit there and tell them no. Which was what their issue that they were having before, was that if they tried to send money to a exchange, their funds would get locked up. So not very good. So that it's interesting to see that they're getting that that they're allowing that through their banking industry. It's like this will be a net positive. I'm sure, your propaganda news is going to add this into reasons of why not to trust Bitcoin. Oh, look, this country that has so many sanctions on it is now circumventing the United States to be able to do trade in the rest of the world. Yes, you can't just cut people off. We are not the world's dictator of who can and cannot transact in the world. It is not our business. We might not like another country's politics. We might not like how another country treats its citizens. We can make that known to that country. We can have an issue with that country, but it's not that we should be able to dictate to the rest of the world to cut that country off until they comply with what we will dictate to them. That makes us no better than the terrorists that they call everybody else. And I think that's where the rest of the world is looking at the United States. They're like, bro, you're kind of being the terrorist you say everybody else is. It's like, yes, these people over here, they're not good people. We're not denying that, but putting sanctions down that don't hurt the governments, it hurts the people. And what do you want the people to do? Start a war with their government? No, that's not going to happen. That's not how these cultures work. And they'll try to force these cultures to do that. It's kind of bullshit, in my opinion. That's just my opinion again. And one that I think is awesome. We have another smaller country looking like they are on the cusp of starting to adopt Bitcoin. I would think that this might be the next country we see making Bitcoin legal currency. I think we have the next one. This is one of the countries that went down to El Salvador and had a discussion with the central banking down in El Salvador and how they integrated Bitcoin into their banking structure. So Argentina's Mendoza province now accepting crypto for taxes and fees. Now, this is also, in my opinion, kind of could be a wolf in sheep's clothing. Get those to liquidate crypto to pay the taxes, and then they can sit there and see how much crypto you actually own. So be careful about paying it directly out of your wallet if you're going to do this, if you're in Argentina. Also know that Argentina, their currency has collapsed. Something like they've defaulted. I had it pulled up here. Here we go. Since they had gotten independence from Spain in 1816, Argentina has defaulted on its debt 9 times so far. 9 times they have defaulted on their currency. It is in their best interest to try to take some of this Vizity Bitcoin and gold. I'm surprised they don't take gold and silver as taxable payment too, to kind of inflate their coffers, to back their scammy ass currency that they have defaulted on a few times. I think in my lifetime, I think Argentina peso from the 80s, I think it's defaulted like 3 times in my lifetime. I think Argentina has defaulted 3 times. I know 2 for sure. Could be 3. So, seeing countries starting to take it like this, when it comes down to countries that have some corruption politically in it, I question the motives behind this. I would be more interested in what Argentina's doing if they go, you know what, we can't handle having our own currency. We give up. Bitcoin's now the national currency. That's what we need. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see them trying to go, hey, we're going to accept taxes for fees and stuff. We got that bullshit here in the United States, and it's still not fucking legal tender here. All right, so them taking it for taxes and fees is a step in the right direction, but it's only in one province. So just kind of take it for what it is. They're not the only country that has defaulted on their Greece defaulted years ago, like back in 2010, something like that. I think Greece economy collapsed. So be careful with that, guys. 100% be careful. And Hodlnaut, not to be confused with the online presence Hodlnaut on Twitter. Hodlnaut is a Singapore-based crypto lending firm. Hodlnaut was placed under interim judicial management. So basically the government just fucking took over on them. A form of creditor protection program. So they were basically bleeding money. They took over. It looks like everybody's money is now fucking locked up on this exchange. This is another one of those of nacho keys, nacho coins. Oop, wrong one. Wrong button. I don't have that camera turned on. But nacho keys, nacho crypto. People need to realize that leaving your coin on exchange is no different than going to the casino. You're going every morning, you wake up and you're like, please let my crypto be there. Please let my crypto be there. Please let my crypto be there. Because if they default on their loans and what they owe, everything that they have going on, if they default credit wise and declare bankruptcy, guess what? If your Bitcoin or your shitcoin is on their exchange, you own nothing. They, what is it? How do they put it? Possession is 9/10 of the law, is the way that they say it. So if it's in my hand, it means it's fucking mine. It's not in your hand. You can't prove otherwise. All you've got is a server saying that you supposedly owe this. But if they shut down the website without you knowing and rug you, guess what? You got nothing. Or get hacked. Yes, mine and hodl. Yeah, or get hacked. Brazil will start in next year. Yeah, I heard something about that Brazil was having massive issues. So I feel bad for any country that their government fucks the people by their nasty spending policy. It's bullshit. It really is. This is not how it's supposed to be, guys. And I feel bad for any individual that has to deal with this. Just like I have no problems with the people in Russia. People in Russia are not an issue. A government is the problem. The U.S. government's the issue with Russia. Russia wouldn't fucking be doing anything except that fucking the United States has been poking the bear through the Ukraine. I'm fucking Ukrainian. I hate the idea that the Ukrainian government is fucking communist dictator Nazis. And we have our fucking government that loves fucking communism. That they're going, yeah, we love you too. You're friends of ours. We're not gonna let anything happen to you as long as we get to kill we get to kill Putin. Putin represents the USSR. It's like, no, he doesn't. It's like, that's like sitting there and saying that, oh, you stole a pack of gum 40 years ago. You're still a criminal today. You never stole another thing in your life, and they don't take into account that you were 15 when it happened. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yes, Putin's not the nicest person, but it's his fucking country. And his people are okay with how he's running things. And he's been leaving everybody alone until our government started having NATO talk with them and started this proxy war. And this proxy war is causing inflation. It's not Putin. It's our government trying to spend money in the industrial military complex. It's a money laundering scheme at the price of all of us. Everyone gets to pay this one, not just in the United States, every single person in the world. It's a tax that the world gets to shoulder. And nobody wants to sit there and call out the U.S. government for their terrorism, basically. Let's call it out for what it is. It doesn't matter if Trump was tight with Putin. That actually wouldn't even make a difference. The art of war is becoming friends with your enemy. Because your friends are the ones you have to worry about. Your enemy you already know is going to stab you in the back. So you know never to turn your back on your enemy. The people you got to worry about are the people that you call your friends. The ones that were never your enemy. The ones that get to see your back. So, if you were looking at an adversary, it would be better to be on good relationships with him. So that you both have an understanding of where the line is and where not to cross. And on top of that, with Trump in office, unfortunately, the world knew that he was crazy enough to declare war on them. He'd be like, we need to destroy them. They're evil people. They're too big. They're huge. And we need to take them down. We need to chill the temperature. But it's like I'd rather see countries that hate each other be civil with each other than staging these coups like we have our government's done in Venezuela, Argentina, the Ukraine, where we as our U.S. government change the outcome of elections in other countries to do what we want. And the world's not pissed off, and they're trying to wonder why the world's pissed off at us. They're not pissed off at us, the people. They're going, man, poor fucking American people. They got a corrupt government that's fucking with everybody. But, yep. I mean, it's like, and we're going to start seeing areas like governments collapse, companies collapse. Companies that have been subsidized by the government are going to collapse. Let me put that out again. Companies that are heavily subsidized by the U.S. government, are going to collapse when the dollar tanks. You're going to have companies like Tesla. They are heavily, heavily subsidized by the U.S. government. When the government has an issue, you're going to see them have an issue too. And they're going to be a lagging indicator, but it's going to happen. So how do we solve this student loan problem? I do not believe that we should be giving money out to these students. This is not going to help anybody. It's not. Because the free money today means that tuition next year is higher. They're going to expect the government to do it again. They will never stop using the Emergency Act. It's an emergency. These students are getting wiped out. This is next year. It's an emergency again. These students are getting wiped out. And then you just might as well say that we're subsidizing students and just giving them free education, which gives them, basically, it turns college into 4 more years of high school. If I were to sit there, if it was me, stop the predatory loaning system. Loan these kids money. I agree with. Loan them money. 0 interest. Do not let anybody make a single dollar off of a student trying to educate themselves. Stop incentivizing predatory loan practices from predatory loan private banks that are funded by the United States government. This is fucking wrong. Absolutely wrong. If you're going to subsidize students' education, make fucking college a guarantee, get rid of the college system. But wait a minute, that means Stanford University, Yale, and Harvard are going to have a conniption fit, and these are your major fucking Democratic donors. You're not going to have anything done to hurt them. Anything done at the community college level hurts them. Think about that. You have your Ivy League schools. Brown. That's a fucking Ivy League. It's on the bottom end, but it's still Ivy League. It's like you have a lot of these Ivy League schools, right? They're making millions. This $10,000 is going to make them be able to raise their I would say stop trying to give people money. Fucking carpet bombing money out there is not the solution. It never has been the solution. The 4 founders of the United States government, whenever they put together the Federal Reserve against a lot of their better judgment, they made it to where there was supposed to be no borrowing from the government from the Federal Reserve. In other words, they were not supposed to be able to spend any money that hadn't come in through taxation. And the first thing that that the United States government changed in 1919, somewhere around there, 1918, 1919, the first thing that they enacted was they allowed borrowing. They allowed the country to run deficits. What they did not want, the 4 founders would be pissed. They were like, we were explicit. No debt. Debt hurts the people. But it only hurts the people that you're not friends with in the government, because the rest of you are all benefiting. That's the government, It's like more power, to them. This is to enrich them. How do you stop that? You have to get them to agree to stop fucking giving them money. But you have the government. Somebody in the government's going, dude, check this out. We got an extra $1 trillion that we printed up, but we haven't spent it yet. The world doesn't know we got it. What do we do with it? And somebody just goes, yo, you've been spreading money out all over these other places. Stock market got it. These banks got it. How about us? We'll package it up and say it's for the students. And then I give you better donation next year so that I can help you guarantee a win in the Senate. Oh, shit! Oh, let me get this to you right now, sir. Yes, sir. Let me vote this in. I swear to God, that's how it's fucking working. It's like somebody just comes up to you. Oh, you got extra money? I could put it somewhere. And it'll make you money. You down? We'll just get Nancy Pelosi's husband to fucking invest into it right before we do this. Yep. And as they're sitting there printing this up, guess what? The U.S. Federal Reserve also, next summer, they're introducing a digital payment system. Yep. So the vice chair of the Federal Reserve announced today that the services will be going will be going live here soon. Next summer, between May and July of next year, you should be able to log into FedNow services and use your government Fed coin. Coming to you next year for testing. Yo! This is how the surveillance state starts. You don't get to see where the money goes, but they do. This gives them more power. And then if you're in it, but to go back to mine and Hodl, how do we solve this? Either tell the students that they're going to college for free, or get rid of the interest rates. I think that's all that really needs to be done. Just get rid of the interest rates. That's what I say. If you're going to borrow money, we need to teach you as a student to pay back what you borrow. But we don't need to bankrupt you in the process of it. The loans should be 100% not for profit. Ever. No interest. Ever. Only on student loans. But then no bank would ever want to do this because there's no money to be made on students with no money. I have issues with it. I can bitch about this for hours like I've already been doing. And the last thing is if you got, it's like you guys know that it's like I go to bed, man. No problem, Rude. You have a good night, homie. Have a good night, my man. I will be getting up out of here soon too, because we are over that 1 hour marker. But I wanted to get out this one last little topic before heading out of here, guys. Laters, man. Peace. Yes, it will mine and hodl. It would cause people, because if people are getting hit with heavy inflation, that means they're spending most of their money on goods and services that they need for a day-to-day living. I need to pay my power. I need to put food on my table. I need to have gasoline in my car. Gas prices are about to go fucking through the roof. I mean, you have the United States government depleting through its oil reserves. Eventually, there'll be no more oil reserves, and $138 per barrel of oil will not be unfeasible, and then we'll be looking at $12 a gallon of gas here in the United States. Which, if my calculations are correct, for anybody who is in another country, you're probably going to be looking at like $20 a liter, 20 euros a liter. It's like, or more. So be careful, guys, out there. Make sure that it's like you're almost incentivized. As soon as you make $1, spend it. Because if you don't spend it, the government will start spending it off on you through inflation. So you're incentivized to spend the money faster than you can earn it. And that's where it's almost makes sense to just start taking out loans so that you can spend the money even faster than the government could ever print it. If you can spend it faster than the government can print it, you might get ahead if you know what you're doing. I don't recommend it. It is the most dangerous gamble in the world. But I have heard of stories of people doing it where they started racking up debt faster than the government could. At this point, it is impossible. They are putting down $1 million a minute in debt. Or no, it's more than $1 million a minute now. Yes, Mine and Hodl. Grow gardens, not lawns. That's why I want to get 50 acres in the middle of fucking nowhere, and a nice house, and me and the wife are out there in the middle of nowhere. Maybe my business partner and his family comes over to my place, and we have barbecues and all this good stuff over at my place, because I will have chickens, I will have eggs, I will have vegetables, herbs, all this good stuff that I will grow at the Crypto and Hot Rods farm, dude. I'm just saying. Just saying. Oh, yeah. Remember when all oil barrels went negative? But that was different. That was people not that, like, the market got saturated and it went negative because if you took the contract, you also had to take the barrels of oil. So they were paying people to take the contract because they had nowhere to put the oil. That's when it went negative. If you would have took the contract would have executed at the end of the month, and you would have had, I think each contract was 50 barrels of crude oil. So you would have had 50 barrels of crude oil that you would have had to have figured out how to legally store it according to federal and local guidelines. You're looking at a hazard. They kind of frown on it if you just took 50 barrels of oil and stored it in your garage randomly. I don't think they'd have a good time with you. He said herbs. It's all about those herbs, my man. So, does anybody have any other comments or questions before I head up out of here? I hope that you found my economic insight helpful into understanding things moving forward. It's like I plan on trying to do stuff like this because the big financial stage that the governments play with affects us directly, guys. Every fucking move they make, we feel. We either feel it at the gas pump, we feel it in the grocery stores, or we feel it in our investments. It'll be a point where we'll see the dollars weaken and all of our investments will moonshot. That's what we're waiting for at this point, guys. I hope we all got our tickets, because I think we're going to start the beginning of priming the motor. I think the motors have been primed. We're on the launch pad. I don't know how long it takes us to get to the moon, but I think the rockets are lit. I don't think that any government has any other course but to continue printing. I think that with the Federal Reserve sitting there saying that they're going to be increasing interest rates, I think there'll be a point where they're going to have their bluff called and they're going to start doing quantitative easing again. Because you don't say that you're going to watch jobs drop off to as a sign of fighting inflation. You're doing that to see where the temperature is of the market and figuring out what it can actually handle. I think we're about to go into a very bumpy road over the next year. So hold on to your hats, guys. I hope you guys got your investment positions into where you think is the best place for you as your decision with the information you have, because I think it's going to get bumpy. Woo! So definitely smash that Lizzie like button, guys. Subscribe if you're new here. Hit the bell notification. Double check to make sure that bell notification turned on, because we know how YouTube is. It's like thought-provoking subject stream. Yes, that's pretty much what I want to do. It's like my dusty bags have been packed. That's what's up. $3.99 and 13 cents here. Wow. It's like thought-provoking subject, and that's what I like on this one. That's exactly what I think my goal was. Mine and Hodl was to get people to start thinking about hey, we're not just mining here. We're part of the economic. We're part of the economic future. What all the governments do affects all of us, no matter where your income level may be. And I hope, Mine and Hodl, that soon I'll be able to offer you a mining facility at a fraction of your kilowatt hours, what you're getting charged. So if you guys haven't done so, I do have a Patreon down below, or you can join the DCA Patreon. My Patreon links are down below. Get on the VIP tier and you will get VIP access with some other goodies behind there. You have to join in order to find out. And you can sit there and mine with us over at the Family Mine. We'll give you good rates. Have you sign some contracts with us so you know that we're on the up and up. You'll have full access to your rigs at all times, guys. You want your shit back? You pay the shipping, I ship it back. I'm not going to sit there and pay for shipping on the stuff, but you want your stuff back at any time. I'm not going to give you no hassle. It ain't my equipment. I'm going to try to, me and McKellar are putting together a facility that is going to be setting the gold standard. That's what we want to do. We want to set the Bitcoin gold standard in mining hosting. Like, I'm almost maxed out on electric. Yeah. It's a thought-provoking subject on the bigger pick. You got it, Mine and Hodl. You got it. Awesome, John. Thank you. So, definitely, I'm gonna. If you guys want to, if you're new here, definitely check out the Discord links down below. Join the Discord. It's free. If you'd like to join the Patreon, I got 3 different tiers. A little tip jar, and then 2 other levels on there. And you get different perks by going into it. I'm just saying. You don't have to. It just helps me out. That's all. Nothing big. And with that, guys, woohoo, flying brime. And with that, guys, definitely peace out. Stay savage. May your watts be low and your hash be high. And I'll see you on the next one. Yo! Oh, wait a minute. Mine and Hodl, you got a question. Off subject, how would you charge for co-hosting? So basically the way that I would do that for the hosting facility would be to so it's $5 per rig per month. That will also in detail us cleaning your rigs, dedusting them and stuff like that. If there's any kind of repairs on there, that's a different discussion. Repairs will be done on an individual basis, but general rig maintenance will be taken care of on site. $5 per month per rig. You'll be looking at 8 to 9 cents per kilowatt hour. So just to kind of put it in the back of your mind, Mine and Hodl, that I'd be looking at between an 8 and a 9 cents per kilowatt hour. Effective rate. Much better than your 32 cents per kilowatt hour. That's highway robbery. That's just as bad as taxation. So hopefully that gives you something to look forward to. Hopefully, being that your power rate's so damn high, I hope to be able to, at some point in time, be hosting all of your rigs. And if anybody's ever worried about centralized hosting, I will be doing this across multiple locations. So yes, you might be with a particular company, but your rigs can be still decentralized in location. Yo. He's like, that's a deal. Yo, so cheaply. No problem, Mine Huddle. We look forward to be hosting your rigs at the Family Mine. With that being said, guys, I hope that helps you out. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I hope this gets your noodle going and providing more conversations with. We can sit there and keep the dialogue going down below. Definitely continue to put your thoughts on it. What would you do for student loan debt? How would you handle it? What would be your solution? Put them into the comments down below if you feel so. I'd love to have your conversation continue down below. And like always, I'll see you in the next one. Yo.